The best way to build a relationship with your dog, coming up. The best way to build a relationship with any dog is first building relationship and bonding with them. That is going to be probably the biggest step to moving forward with doing any type of training, establishing any type of boundaries or discipline, or going into any of the obedience. The dog has to have some type of relationship and bond with you first so that it respects you, understands its place, and that way you guys can move forward in your relationship and training. Here, place. Yes, sit down. Yes. Lay down. Fui. After you've created that initial relationship and you've bonded quite a bit, that period of bonding should be several weeks long. Now, during the process of building that relationship and that bonding, you're going to incorporate certain things. One of the best ways to help focus and develop that bonding and that relationship is crate training. Crate training is such a vital tool, and I have a video on crate training, so I will leave that here and suggest it so that if you guys want to check that video out, you can check it out. Sit down. Yes. Crate training allows your dog to have its own safe place and safe space away from you. Kind of like having like a man cave for a guy or for a woman going into your bathroom and doing your makeup. It's the same kind of practicality when you're working with a dog. They just have their own little area where they can kind of escape from everything, feel comfortable and feel secure. That is going to also help build that relationship with you because you're controlling things and you're establishing where certain boundaries are going to be created long term by utilizing certain things like crate training. One of the next steps that's super important when you're building relationship or trying to build a better relationship with your dog is really just spending time with them, taking them on walks, playing with them, interacting with them. That is such a healthy thing in a dog's environment and giving them, the attention that they need and they require. If you're getting value from this video, make sure that you hit the like button. Versailles, pose. As you can see, it is super important just to get out with your dog and experience adventures and do things together. Versailles thrives and just absolutely loves coming down here and just being a dog. I think that's so vital and so important to tell you. Whether you have a working dog, whether you have a golden retriever, whether you have a husky, just make sure that you remember that your dog is a dog. In the sense that your dog isn't a robot. It's not always going to do the right thing. He or she is going to make mistakes. But it's all about just getting out there and having fun. These things are such an easy way to help build your relationship with any dog. It doesn't have to be a Dutch Shepherd. It doesn't have to be a Belgian Malinois. Just implementing these simple things is going to help you build such a better relationship with your dog. The next step in this process is going to be obedience. Creating the structure and developing boundaries, utilizing information and communication to your dog to be able to communicate in the most effective way so that you guys have a healthy relationship and the dog has a healthy relationship within its pack, within its family, and within your home. Now, in that same sentence, it's super important to get a professional dog trainer. I always recommend that you get a professional dog trainer. It doesn't matter if you're trying to do the simplest steps as understanding basic obedience, teaching your dog sit and stays and downs, to off-leash training, to something like protection training. All these variables need to have proper guidance and structure, and it needs to come from a professional person that does this for a living, not just going and watching a YouTube video like this one. Make sure that you find a professional dog trainer. The key to having the best relationship with your dog and building a better relationship with your dog is just staying consistent in every single thing that you do. The more consistent you are, the more consistent that your dog is going to perform and do everything that you want. and expect out of the dog. Anytime that you're doing any type of training too, keep it very simple, especially when you're working with puppies or dogs that you're shaping and molding to do new things, whether that's doing impulse control and just doing sits and stays for a duration period of time, or if you're teaching your dog on leash stuff or off leash training. Keep all those things to a very minimal amount, anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes. With a puppy, maybe even less. When you're introducing the obedience into your daily program, into your daily structure, make sure that you're finding the right things that your dog thrives off of. Versailles, I'm about to go get a toy right now. In doing her obedience, she thrives and listens and focuses the best with direction when she has her toy. Now that could be as simple as a tug for one of these types of guys, a Dutch Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois having a tug, or some type of ball or something like that, to having kibble and just doing treat training. Essentially, you're luring the dog to do what you want, but in a positive way, and making the interaction and that obedience structure fun. Now I just brought out Versailles' toy. Now watch how focused she is on doing obedience. Nope. Sit down. Good. Lay down. Good. Puss. Good. Look at that focus. Down. Good. Good girl. Arr. Oh. Sit down. Yes. Lay down. Good. As you can see, Versailles is so much more engaged and willing to work with her toy out than when she didn't have the toy out. Now, believe it or not, 6-8 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this with Versailles. She couldn't have her toys out, and we couldn't communicate correctly because she had resource guarding issues. If you go back in some of our earlier videos, you'll see that I had to hire a professional dog trainer, went through a dog trainer because it was a bad situation, to finding and going ultimately back to Global Canine, where Versailles came from, and doing training with them. We're just focusing on building that relationship. That is how I got over dealing with resource guarding. So in wrapping up today's video, remember, in building a better relationship with you and your dog really comes down to you, your commitment, your dedication, your time, your patience, and ultimately your love for your dog is how you're going to be able to communicate more effectively and have a better relationship with your dog. So I hope you guys got something out of today's video. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Now, when you're introducing these obedience steps or routines, oh my God, find the desired drive that your dog has. Side note.